from showers into the lockers. But let's get back into the game here, and we are going to see the same bomb site chosen. We're going to see the blitz play actually coming out from Sire. No, come on, give me the blitz.
I think he might be trolling just a little bit.
No, he shouldn't be.
We'll see what Asaya decides to go with here.
I think he just wants to double check and make sure he's got the right pistol, even though there's only one pistol on blitz. I can guarantee you that.
Nope, there's the Habana coming out from Saya. That makes a lot more sense.
It
Infinitely
makes a
more
lot
sense.
But it also is a heartbreaker.
I suppose. And it will be BRK going into the kitchen defense yet again. This is really cool. Again, this is really cool to see from BRK. Getting that variation, showing us something a little bit different. And they're going up against NoX Gaming, again, the team that is the supposed variation king. So we'll see if this works out for BRK or if they're just kind of saying, hey, we can do this too.
Now, we will be seeing Nesk not on the Valkyrie this time, but instead on the Jaeger. Looks as though one is going to pick up that Valkyrie position. Now, we talked about the south wall of Dynagan opened up. Looks as though BRK is going to not decide to open that up just yet. They have opened up the west end facing that small junk tower, but insisting at the moment to keeping the south wall closed. Or at least unopened.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily have to pre-open it. As long as you know somebody's planting in that general vicinity, you can usually just pre-fire through the wall. You're going to know where they're planting. They're likely as close as they can be to the impenetrable wall. And so you just kind of spray in the rightmost corner as you're looking at it, side of that penetrable wall, and then you'll usually get the kill anyway. Plus, you're catching the attackers off guard in that instance. So you can see here, BRK have established themselves on the top floor above the kitchen bomb site. This mirror window has seen a lot of play, whether you're defending the basement, the top floor, or, in this instance, the kitchen. And it has been proven useful, extremely so, in slowing down that take of that top floor.
Now, that Valkyrie camera that we just saw, I believe that was going to be one or Yuke hop on, was actually in the drone hole of the meeting hall. And so that was facing out towards the north windows of that kid's dormitory. But we are still going to see Nesk here. This is what we were talking about before. Keeping someone inside of the lockers, making sure that they maintain control of this so the attackers cannot just swarm in.
I like Nesk juggling that Jaeger device there, trying to maintain his position outside, despite the Thatchers coming down.
Now this is a little bit of a different variation of trying to hold this location. Typically we've seen the barbed wire be used.
I really like the Echo drone there, slowing down Hugzords on his push into the Jaeger in lockers. That's some great teamwork, and that's going to slow this round down quite a lot. 1 minute 20 to go, and the attackers still have not taken control of lockers, which again is paramount to the overall push.
Now this is a really good crossfire here with Julio looking in toward the lockers of Nesk. But you had to be wary. This Capitao was going to forcefully work his way and prevent Julio from doing much behind that mirror window. Nesk going to go for the pre-fire here onto Hugzord. He'll land the headshot as a C4 comes out from Julio. Now he's going to grab a vector kill as well. That's going to be 2 kills from behind the mirror window. Last 2 alive going to be Saya as well as Sexy Cake. Now it looks as though inside of the bathrooms, a little one tap there, led into Julio's face. That's going to drop the mirror, but it looks as though he's going to move in forward, spotting the Echo. Zig going to swing on around with a shotgun in hand, gets rid of him. Last man alive is going to be Sexy Cake inside of the kitchen. He finishes off Zig, moves on over. Nesk's going to be ready for it, but he misses his target. Yuke swings on around, and he'll get the Cade.
A nice try there by Sexy Cake to bring it back for his team. Unfortunately for him, what happened there for NoX Gaming is they got a little bit ahead of themselves. They could not take full control over those lockers before pushing into the main box where you will typically get the diffuser plant, default spot as it's called, just outside of Junk Tower. They had the Thatcher then come in past that, which despite not having any real cover, he got C4'd, and then right after that, we did see some aggression, spontaneous almost, coming out of BRK to get a couple more kills and put Sexy Cake in the difficult position of being in a 1 versus 4, I believe it was. Now we are going to have NoX going down into their basement defense. Just not gonna opt to go for that kitchen defense to start us off. Which is, you know, this is counter to what you're expecting going into this match, right? You think that NoX is going to be going kitchen, and BRK is going to be going into the basement. But whatever the case be, NoX is going to be a little bit more comfortable in this basement, clearly, just to start. And we'll see where they go second.
I think one of the things to mention and to highlight from the last round with BRK was that each and every player on that side had the ability to collapse and to get a trade should they needed to. Zig moved in, he picked up 1 kill, then got traded out, and it was basically trade after trade, crossfire after crossfire, and it worked out very well for BRK.
Yeah, as compared to NoX, who were in the total opposite position of having nobody in a good spot to trade each other out. Again, getting a little bit ahead of themselves. It's unfortunate to see, but hopefully they can make good on it this round. Sexy Cake's going to get lit up a little bit there, trying to peek outside of the tower, and now 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go. Bandit's already on at least one, probably about 1 shot, maybe 2 shots of HP.
Yeah, depending on the gun he's going to go up against, because he is a 1 armor and no Rook armor. So, therefore, he will most likely not see the end of this round, but it's still a chance. We've seen less health on an operator who's managed to do more damage, so.
Does look like we're going to have some aggression here onto the tower and the construction hallway. BRK not wasting any time whatsoever. Like this attack, it really consolidates the roamers, forces them into avenues that they cannot directly challenge the attackers without having to enter into a fight against an assault rifle. No flank potential really here.
And this is what we've talked about before, that if you are dealing with a team that likes to roam off site, as an attacker, you want to take control of this red tower, make sure that is your home base, and then cover the rotation, cover the flanks. You don't necessarily need to go after the roamers, but you just need to cover and make sure that they don't gain more ground.
It's basically just putting your back up against a wall and pointing your gun forward is really all that this take is. And it makes a lot of sense on Oregon. We do typically see if you're not going to be tacking into the tower, if you're going to go for a lobby take, then the attackers will clear from west to east to try and get as much ground as possible, as well as because the west side doesn't have a basement, there's not a lot of rotation potential for the defenders in that instance. But, you know, this is obviously just a slightly more just consolidated way of pushing into the tower, and you don't have to worry about those roamers.
And realizing that they had a little bit of time there, they will down Sexy Cake and pick him back up to give him 50 health. However, Yuke is going to choke on a little bit of some bullets, I think. I don't know if that was the gas grenade.
I think that was the gas
Might have been some of the gas being thrown in the box. However, we do have one working his way with that L85 to take out Sexy Cake. He will go down. First man down on the defensive squad. 45 seconds to go. A 5-on-4. You still have 2 roamers. That's going to be Saya as well as Hugzord.
I like this push coming out from BRK all together. Will Yuk get traded out though?
And there he will inhale the gas grenade, finishing him off there by Cyber. 4-on-4, some more bullets are going to go flying. Leipzor trying to swing around from the B site. Zig is inside. He's just around the bomb. He's going to be moving him forward, try to get this plant down, but Leip already has his number, and it looks as though he just needs to swing right around. And there's the headshot. He will go down by Leipzor. Desk did pick up a kill. Looks like Leip tried to get another, but it's going to be Saya picking up the kill there. Now 1 man left, 2 men left alive here on the attacking squad, but there's only 1 standing, and it looks as though he will go down by Saya.
Good trades there from NoX. It was some the aggression coming out from BRK was great. I mean, okay, let's talk about the round from start to finish though. I mean, they took control of tower, they pushed into the construction hallway, basic stuff, right? Then they positioned themselves to attack into the site as a unit, as a whole, and they did just that. But NoX was on top of those trades, and they managed to keep the man advantage in their favor. And that's really all it comes down to. When BRK threw themselves into the grinder, NoX was ready. They were turned on, and they managed to get their first win on the board here. Now 1-1, BRK, losing that attack, will go down into the basement now for their second defense. It's been an entirely defender-sided match thus far, obviously only 2 rounds in, but neither of these teams have had a successful attack. And I think it really just comes down to a lack of trading. I mean, that sledge went down. One had some really great cover from that back stairs by the tower, taking out the player who was playing on the mirror window early on. But after you got downed, there wasn't any real trade back potential coming out from BRK. Not enough aggression and just, you know, going in for it. And this is what we usually see happen when, and the main problem with the construction tower take is that teams will kind of just position themselves in the tower, in the construction tunnel, then they're pushing through 2 lanes. It's not a lot of pressure there.
It's a lot. It reminds me of pushing from servers and Visa on Consulate. You only have 2 avenues. You have the main corridor and you have a doorway into kitchen.
It's the same, yeah. It's basically the same. We're going to see BRK going for that very similar heavy roam up in the master bedroom. not the master bedroom, rather the big dorms. They're going to open up that rotation hole between kitchen and meeting hall. That means that once Yuke feels like he's being pressured too much on his mirror window, I believe he has a mirror window upstairs, he will be able to fall off and rotate back to side, assuming there is no attacker covering that rotation.
What I am liking here from BRK is the alteration between one and Nesk. Nesk is getting off of the Valkyrie, which is what I think everyone expects him to play on. So he's playing a different role, and I think this is going to lead to a victory on their behalf, just because a lot of the time, seeing as how powerful Nesk has been, how important and how influential in the rounds and in the matches he's been, if you can take him out, if you can kind of guess how he's going to play, you're going to give yourself an upper hand. But he's also throwing his own curveball by playing this Jaeger.
Yeah, a little bit of a variation, but oh, there's that Claymore going down underneath the drop. Yuke's going to spot that out, and now he knows that there is somebody downstairs in the kitchen, which means Yuke is pretty much cut off here. He doesn't have a lot of options for rotation. He might have a hole in attic that'll be able to get him back in the meeting hall, but he's, for the most part, cut off from his team, and so is Nesk. Interestingly, NoX is going to opt to not try to clear the top floor.
Ooh, and I mean, they knew he was up there. Nesk will tag the kill there on the Hugzord. Hugh saw it. He went for the pre-fire, saw his legs, and then just decided, I can run out of it. But you're a 2-2. You're not going to outdo a 3-1.
Yeah, and unfortunately for NoX Gaming, that's going to slow down their attack quite a bit. With only a minute to go, they still have yet to establish any direct pathways into the site, really. They don't have any serious pressure coming onto the main site.
Now Nesk is going to cause quite a bit of chaos up here inside of the attic. With that drop hatch reinforced, all you really have to do is just wait for him to drop and come back onto site. Have one person watch it from meeting hall, and the rest focus on the lobby.
Here we go. These fire arrows and smoke arrows are going to be what signifies the main attack into the laundry room.
Now that fire arrow is going to prevent Pulse, that's going to prevent Dig. They're trying to get that C4 tossed out, but the double C4 will only kill one. That's going to allow Leipzor to move in forward, get this plant down, but he's going to fake it out and instead give his position away. He's not going to go back up the stairs, goes for the kill there on Yuke, tags the kill down, and then traded out by Nesk. Zig picks up that final kill into Sexy Cake, and we are going to see BRK win round number 3.
Good defense there from BRK, but more importantly, an interesting, just not the best clear coming out from NoX. Now, the issue that we had with that NoX attack was that they didn't clear out the roam game whatsoever, and they didn't invest any serious hold on those roamers when they're starting to pressure on from the rear. And because of that, the smoke and the Jaeger both were allowed to apply said pressure. There wasn't any just deterrent coming out from NoX at all. Yeah,
there really wasn't. I mean, BRK did their job. They did a fabulous job there on the defensive hold. And looking at what we're about to see now, we're going to get back into the game here. Just had a little bit of some technical issues we wanted to fix here. But we are going to get back in. It's going to be round number 4. And NoX Gaming, again, not going to stir the pot just yet. They're going to go back to that typically seen primary bomb site here on the top floor. But we're going to have to take a look at how are they going to set it up. Are they going to set up in a different way that then leads us to believe this actually is the NoX we're familiar with?
Yeah, this is seeming pretty standard here right now.
Yep.
No abnormal reinforcements, no abnormal operator picks here. Not per se. I mean, the Mute, you could say, is a little bit different. But again, we've talked about how Mute is an extremely useful operator who is seeing a lot more play these days. He's going to be great at denying walls as well as denying information gathering. I mean, with Bandit, for example, if you're going to bring a Bandit in this situation, you're going to want to put those batteries on that generator wall to master office. And that's going to be extremely useful, yes, but then you have 2 other batteries. So you can put them on arguably this mirror window here you see Sexy Cake playing next to, but then where else is it really going to find use? You got one battery left. Meanwhile, Mutes are not only going to stop somebody from opening up a reinforced wall, but also they're going to stop somebody from droning out from just the top of your stairs or anything along those lines. Yeah, I mean, you had talked about the Bandit batteries and how you place 2 on the middle dorm's wall facing that closet of master bedroom. 1 Mute Jammer does that. Yeah. So now you've got 3 Mute Jammers you can still toy around with, again, trying to prevent some of the information gathering that the attackers are always trying to do. We are experiencing still some technical difficulties. That's what the remake is going to be happening for. So unfortunately for that, we do have to spend a few minutes here. And talking about NoX Gaming and being on the top floor, like you had mentioned earlier, we aren't seeing a very off-meta NoX tonight. Their defensive setup on that top floor was pretty... maybe not anticipated, but pretty standard. I mean, you're definitely right. So going on Oregon, it's a little bit more cut and dry, more in line with the meta, and that makes sense, I suppose. It might be that they're thinking, okay, we're going up against BRK, we need to try and consolidate and focus on what we know we could be the most proficient at, and that could stand to reason, but at the same time, it is a little bit different. And I always say that when you have a team like NoX, who tends to play abnormal, or just in general a team like Untitled, who has their little quirks, and you know, every squad that has their own uniqueness to them, they need to play into that. They need to really, you know, take it and push forward with it, even if you're going up against a team who you don't expect to be winning against.
I mean, we saw that with Bittersweet GG and Elevate yesterday. Bittersweet GG played
their game.
They played their game, and unfortunately they didn't win, but they did take Elevate to the 11th round on the second map. And to me, like we had said, we both talked about it yesterday. If you were there during the North American Games, we had talked about it, how we hope that Bittersweet GG walks away from this with their heads held high and a roster intact. We don't want to see that roster change because their players work well together. They work very well together. We constantly refer to their synergy and their timing, and that's something that a lot of teams struggle with.
Yeah, and also not only the synergy and the timing, but their strat variation in that they bring us to different maps. On Chalet, for example, BRK Gaming, Master Bedroom. You know, that was really cool to see yesterday. And I really sincerely hope that we're not going to see a problem with NoX Gaming here not trying to, you know, breathe and play their game, because they need to commit to what they are and what they've shown us in the past and try to make it into being something that is capable of beating anybody instead of trying to give up on it, which we see so many teams do.
We see a lot of teams when they are the quote-unquote underdogs or the unfavored opponents, where they are already putting themselves at a disadvantage by saying, we're going up against these people and we need to play differently. You need to be yourself. You're like being yourself is what got you into the Pro League, and I'm hoping that the NoX we saw in the first week and is going to be the NoX that we see today, because there were some definitely promising aspects of their gameplay. Looking at that though, and talking about NoX, I mean, we saw, we talked about it, we haven't seen the NoX that we previously have seen, and so I want to say that maybe the NoX we saw previously isn't the NoX that is NoX, but at the same time, how can that not be the case? Right,
and yeah, but going into this match, just to start things out, they have actually put up a heck of a fight against BRK. They do seem on even footing on Oregon, so that's really great to see. I do like that they are putting up, you know, they're not just, you know, rolling over, despite the fact that they're not trying to go to these different bomb sites like Tower or Kitchen that we saw BRK go to. They are still doing fairly well. So the question then is, just leading into the rest of the match, how will they continue to play on this particular platform, which is different than what they're used to?
One of the things I want to talk about, though, that spans just beyond this series and just even beyond the Latin American scene, is this season of the Pro League. We've seen many additional bomb sites tried out. We've seen Bar inside of Chalet. We've seen the top floor inside of Chalet. Think about Clubhouse. I think actually, I don't think Clubhouse this season. We saw it last season. We saw the Cash Room. On Oregon, we've seen all 4 bomb sites. At Bank, we've seen all 4 bomb sites. We've seen Coastline, 3 out of the 4 bomb sites.
Well, Coastline is arguably...
It's still working. It's
not refined.
Yeah, it's still working its way. Still trying to be refined. Thinking about other maps here, though, we've got Border. Border, we've seen every bomb site except, I want to say, the Inspections Lounge. We might have seen one Inspections
We have seen Inspections Lounge defended, I believe. Maybe not in this season, but, you know, on the majority of maps we have seen the majority of bomb sites picked at least at one point or another. I think it was actually Penta who defended it.
You're right, it was Penta. So what I'm getting at here is that with this happening, with these increase in bomb sites, it's not becoming this, these are the 2 core bomb sites anymore. Yes, we do have our favored and unfavored bomb sites, but now the teams are now having to work on different attack strategies for more than just 2 preferred sites. Now the guessing game is really going to happen. Now you're going to see additional strat variations. You're going to see these teams try to excel in their knowledge and their progressions of their strategies. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's one of the things that this season I think has shown us above any other season before.
No, you're definitely right. We saw some, obviously with the new bracket system that we have right now, we've seen a lot more increased competition overall.
Yep.
And I feel like in the previous season, year 2, season 1, it was very blatant. It was like, whoa, okay, this new format makes it so the stakes are so much higher, which means that we see it be more competitive. Now, us moving away from that, we still have the same format, and I think people are just trying to come up with new ideas to try and give themselves a slight edge in on all of these maps.
I think a lot of it might have to do with the fact that we have a lot of different operators now, that this game is seemingly more balanced than it was previously.
Yeah.
There's also a deeper understanding of some of the bomb sites, and there's also a sense that some of the bomb sites might have gotten stale over time. So now we're seeing this expansion of less common bomb sites come into the play here.
Yeah, now we're getting right back into it, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for the delay. It's going to be NoX Gaming. Here it is. This is what we were looking for. Going for a tower defense. Meanwhile, BRK going to be on that tower attack. Now, we'll see if this plays out well for NoX, or if this is going to be actually what sinks them down into losing this match. They are right now at 2-1, so NoX is losing. BRK is on top. If BRK manages to win this attack, it will be a 3-1 situation, which is not going to be ideal for NoX. They need to get this early initiative, and they need to, like I said earlier, they need to make sure that, well, not make sure, they need to invest in this variation, this difference that is NoX Gaming, and they need to make it work.
Now, with previous Red Tower holds, or even just in general meeting room holds, we've seen Mira be used very successfully on the singular walls facing the lobby. And we aren't seeing Mira here. Instead, we are seeing Leipzig play the Rook.
Yeah, Rook's a little bit different, but not having a Mira on the tower isn't the most amazing thing in the world. I think it actually kind of makes sense. The most useful place you can put that mirror window is either meeting hall to main lobby, if you're going to hold meeting hall, or tower to meeting hall, but that's not essential, really, for a hold. I like this angle here from Sexy Cake. Going to open up that window. That means he can at least assist and control over that armory hallway. Nesk is going to be looking to take control over that armory itself. Once he puts himself in that position, he will be a little bit stranded. Or at least he's going to have to challenge on a Sexy Cake. It is a winnable fight, though. Most players are going to be who are going to be challenging from the armory onto the window are going to be conscious of the angle itself. I like what one is doing there. That little angle there, the pixel peak, is going to cut off quite a lot of rotation. Nesk is going to get taken out. That's the angle from the tower window down into the armory hallway. So that's a good start for NoX Gaming.
Well, we are going to have, I believe that is one inside of Garage. He just got spotted out. He's now going to work his way out of the main lobby and potentially out of the line of sight here from Sexy Cake.
Sexy Cake's not likely to try to challenge us again unless he gets called out by his teammates that there's someone there. It's very dangerous, but he could, if he does, get another kill from it. I mean, he took out Nesk earlier. That's very difficult shot to hit onto an Ash, a 3-speed moving through that hallway.
Now, with Saya tucked away inside of the corner, I don't think he got droned out, but instead he still insisted on killing the drone. I don't think that was necessarily the correct choice. However, we will see a trade happen. Leipzig taking out one member here from BRK and then get removed from play here.
You can see BRK, they're trying to take onto that south side of the building, start with a meeting hall attic take before they take into tower, and it's actually not working out for them so far in this round. Hugzord's going to get lit up by Yuke before the flashbangs come out. Both sides here, Yuke's looking to make a push.
And he will turn forward. There's the shots there. Will take out Saya. And now he's going to force his way into the vestibule of Meeting Hall. He's also going to spot Hugzord after another flashbang goes on out. Wonderful job just annihilating both of those defenders. There's only two left. It's going to be Cyber and Sexy Cake. We saw Sexy Cake in the top of Red Tower. Cyber's going to be at the bottom of the stairs. And it looks as though the pedestal or the podium wall will get opened up here by Thermite. It is a soft wall though, so it will get instantly destroyed. And with 7 seconds left to go, Sexy Cake has the upper hand. But it looks as though Cyber is going to be doing a lot of work here. He gets rid of Yuke and then traded out by Zig. And there is going to be the final moment. Sexy Cake needs to come on down, looks on towards. He knows the diffuser is trying to get planted, but instead he's going to insist on getting off of the site, come in through the meeting hall. And we are going to spot this in a 2v1. Zig is drastically hurt on the back stairs. Looks like Sexy Cake trying to come all the way down. And it looks like though he's just turning around. Will he see the shots? He will tag him and get him on down. Last man alive is going to be outside of the stairs. That's Julio. He's going to be peeking in forward. Now, with about 20 seconds left, Sexy Cake is going to have to get this little pixel peek on the bottom of the stairs. Don't quite know if he sees it. He's going to try to long arm this real quick. Sees him on out there, goes for the close angle, and Julio's far away. Wonderful job. That round is going to go to BRK. It's now 3-1 in favor of BRK E-Sports.
Very well played there for BRK. Nice attack, but more importantly, what happened there with NoX? So, with only 30 seconds left to go, NoX Gaming insisted on holding on to their meeting room, and they tried to hold the entranceway to meeting from the main lobby a little bit too much. They committed too hard to that. With only 30 seconds, they could have easily fallen off that, gone into the tower, and consolidated their hold. Used their man advantage to simply wait for the attack to come through meeting hall, and then trade each other out. But because they lost 2 players for free at that entranceway to meeting hall, it then became a very simple matter of, hey, well, now we have the man advantage, let's just push in and refrag.
Yeah, I think at the very least, if you're going to keep your people in meeting hall, we had the Jaeger, or it might have been the Jaeger was on the left side, Valkyrie was on the right. Jaeger, after getting pushed by the Blackbeard and forced out, he then decided to re-engage, and that's when that third flashbang ended up blinding him, and that's what caused the second death inside of meeting hall. I think if he's going to fall back, he needs to fall back. I
mean, arguably, as I was saying, is that either both of them could have just gone back into the tower. But hindsight is 20/20, and unfortunately, it is what it is. NoX Gaming now will be in a 3-1 deficit. They are going to be going on to an attack of the top floor as BRK has opted to go upstairs yet again. Or actually not yet again, for the first time. Because, as we stated earlier, BRK started off their defensive rounds with a kitchen defense, which was different.
Different yet successful.
Unfortunately, Nox's version of difference was a little bit unsuccessful. Holding that tower didn't work out for them. We are going to have BRK slightly holding the tower, investing at least one person in spending some time here, trying to slow down the attack as much as possible. It's a Rook, which is kind of interesting. He is the only, well, this one of 2 3 armors on the BRK defense right now, and he's about as far away from sight as he can really be.
The Roman Rook meta, we don't see that often. We do not see that often.
No, and it makes sense. I mean, you do have a lot of HP and durability, as well as a really good gun, and you have those impact grenades so you can rotate if you choose to. However, he's used both of his impact grenades already, probably for site construction. He also opened up the attic, which is really nifty, but we'll see how that works out for BRK. Meanwhile, NoX Gaming haven't taken full control of the tower yet, I believe, but they are making that their priority. Looks like it might be a B window attic take here from NoX Gaming. Twitch has successfully opened up that mirror window at the top of the white stairs, and that's actually very significant. Having that mirror window open means that there will be less potential for a crossfire between top of white stairs and the big dorms, leading into the later end of this attack.
Now, we are going to see Zig still here inside of the red tower, which I think NoX Gaming didn't necessarily clear out the red tower. They might have droned it out, but they aren't holding a presence in there. Instead, they're just keeping outside of it, whether it be repels, whether it be on the top. And right now, I think Zig might be working his way up the stairs.
Yeah, he's not going to get the back of... He might get the back of the Twitch, who I think is repelling on those B windows. Yeah, we're actually going to have a Nesk on that Jaeger roam. Actually, it might not even be a Jaeger roam, just the Jaeger in general, taking out Hug. Meanwhile, Lipe is going to trade it back on a Nest.
We do see Zig giving away his position inside of the red tower. He will be taken about down to, I want to say, 10 health here. The flashbang's going to win by Lipe Sword. Will he push this, or is he going to stay out? I want to see Sexy Cake and Lipe are both right outside, trying to toss in their nades, and then they're going to go in for a push here momentarily. 35 seconds left to go, a 4-on-4. Now we can see all 4 members of NoX Gaming outside of this big window.
Oh no.
Looks as though possibly 4. They might be trying to repel. Oh, they are going to repel, and Zig will be there to potentially get the shots. It looks as though Sledge is going to work his way in. That Sexy Cake, and Saya is also going to work his ins. But a headshot from the shots of Zig will land there onto Life Sword. A 3-on-3, now 3-on-2. Yuke's been injured. One's going to be the last man alive. They are looking for the shots, and it looks as though one has 0 C4s left. 1 C4 toss would have killed 2 of them. Now we are going to have one still working his way. Left side is going to be Cyber. Right side is going to be Sexy. Nade's already getting cooked. He's going to toss it on in. That's going to do a lot of damage, but not enough to kill him off. Cyber then going to go for the push. Sexy Cake will go down, and it's a 1-on-2. Cyber still behind the bomb site, gonna go for the shots there. Cyber swings on around, gets the kill, and that's gonna be NoX securing round 5. It is 3-2 now. BRK up by 1 round.
So NoX, good attack. As soon as BRK lost control over those big dorms and they couldn't deny the main window vault, it pretty much went spiraling out of control for BRK as a whole. They had too many players invested in that heavy roam game, and unfortunately the Rook was not capable of really influencing the round whatsoever. He did get 1 kill on his retake, but at the roam game, the time he spent in tower, he didn't do a lot of work. More importantly, he had full control over tower, and he had 2 people rappelling on those B windows, and he never peeked them. I mean, even as he saw the sledge rappel into B, he didn't peek the windows, and that is really just an unfortunate roam game coming out there for BRK.
Yeah, when he was inside of the attic, it looked like he just did not extend himself through the attic window enough to see that they were rappelling. I mean, we did see at the last split second that sledge had already gone in, but it wasn't enough for him to get the shot off. You
can't see the whole rappel from that window. Unfortunately, you can't look far enough down, but you can, when they're rappelling in, you usually can see the top of their head as they swing into the window. So
you can at least see you can see the rope to at least know that they're rappelling, and that would have allowed him to say, okay, let me get to red tower to get a better angle.
Yeah, and he could have, yeah, if he had actually peeked it out and called that information to his teammates and then tried to get that angle, it might have been a little bit of a different round, but you can't all put it on the Rook. It really just comes down to losing control of big dorms. As soon as that happened, NoX had full ability to vault in through the window, the main west window, and then get a crossfire to establish a diffuser plan. Also, those Capitao firebolts were extremely useful in that take.
They were.
Which is just not normal.
That's going to be 1 Valkyrie cam tossed on out, and Nest instantly destroying that, saying, hey, I've done a toss like that before.
Zaya playing in the top of tower is going to get pressured by Yuk. Yuk doesn't seem like he actually wants to challenge this right now, just trying to say, hey, we know you're there. We're going to go ahead and open up this window to try and make you aware of us. Here comes Yuk, though. Oh, no. Going for the top of attic.
Where is exactly
I actually don't think that BRK has droned out the top of tower. It's entirely possible they haven't taken the time to clear top tower, which might be their downfall leading into this round. If that Valkyrie is allowed to really pressure onto the attack from behind. I mean, even if the Rook on the last round for BRK had been able to pressure from tower, it would have likely been a BRK round. You know, it's a case of if you leave tower in control of the defenders, you give a lot to them.
Yep, now you can see Leipzig that we were just watching inside of the armory. He was looking around for a drone, making sure that there wasn't just a casual drone sitting around already identifying where he is. Flashbangs are going to go in, and he might be pushed here momentarily. We saw, I believe that was Nesk underneath. No, Nesk is going to be on the window. He will charge him, gets him down, but won't actually finish him. I don't know if he's going to try to get him from underneath or...
It's entirely possible Nesk doesn't know that he downed the mute, as, again, in Pro League rules, there are no point indicators. So yeah, he's droning it out now. He doesn't know that he downed him. He will spot it out, though, now, and he will go ahead and vault into the army window.
And you do have, I believe that's going to be the Blackbeard. That's Yuke, who worked his way forward, and he will be removed from play there by Hugzord. Wonderful job there by Jaeger. Evening out man count of 4-4, 40 seconds to play. And the first of 3 gas grenades look like it's going to be tossed out into the middle hallway.
Yeah, with only 30 seconds to go, the Valkyrie in the tower and still 2 gas canisters. And now Nest being taken out by Sexy Cake. Nice to kill right there. It's looking pretty bad for NoX, or sorry, for BRK.
Hugzord picks up a 2nd kill on the round, taking out Zig. 4 on 2, Julio and 1 to give the last man alive. They're going to go for that master balcony take and moving forward, but Jaeger's got his own words to say about it. Hugh picking up 3 kills. Can he get a 4th one? Julio knows this is not going to be his round. He doesn't have diffuser. He's got 4 to kill. Hugh going to go for this 4K. He's going to miss his target and pay the price for it with his life. Julio trying to save the op as now we have a lead here by BRK.
Well done to BRK. I believe they just evened it out. I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's a 3.
It is. You're right. Correct. 3-3.
But whatever the case be, BRK kind of struggling a little bit on those last 2 rounds, and NoX meanwhile starting to get their engine revved, starting to make it happen for them. That what happened on that last round was basically, BRK, so they fell into a Master Armory take where they didn't actually put much pressure on a Master Armory. And they were clearly trying to go straight from those particular lanes, but they had so many people elsewhere challenging onto the defenders one by one. I mean, we had the Blackbeard challenging on that main hallway window of the top floor, and he just got taken out by a Jaeger. And that's dangerous as heck, especially when you don't have anyone to trade you back. And then, so after that, the attackers did take control of Armory, but they didn't have control of Master. And then they didn't have the Master Closet to Generator Wall open. And when you don't have that open, you can't make the push. All the same, now we're going to have BRK going into the basement. They're not going to try, seemingly, for that kitchen defense that we saw earlier, which was really nice to see. I think that was just a bit of a pocket. Hey, look at this. We're going to do this. See how this works out. And it did work out for BRK, but I don't think they're going to try it a second time. At least that's not showing through here right now. NoX Gaming, meanwhile, they have the full kit to make this take happen. They don't have a Thermite, but he's not necessary really on a basement take unless you're going from the construction side of things. You have 3 Hibana charges, which can open up all 3 drop downs, or you can leave 1 drop down intact and opt to open up those mirror windows instead. Yeah, and with there being no Bandit and no Mute, it is likely that we will see NoX try to identify that and use the Hibana to open up the mirror windows. The thing about those mirror windows is that you don't actually need a Bandit or a Mute to stop the Hibana charges. You can just place somebody in the laundry room itself, right in front of Snake here, through this rotation hole, and then they have clear line of sight to shoot the Hibanas as they land on the mirrors. You could do that if, but you, as a pro team here expecting that, you could also use the Capital areas for the fire to prevent the angle, potentially. Well, you can't. Well, I mean, you can't actually fully prevent that angle, but yeah, you can prevent the rotation for sure. You're absolutely right about that. Now we are going to have Hugzord working his way in here from blue into the box corridor. He's got to look out behind. No, actually, his teammate behind him there, coming down the red tower stairs. Sexy King going to try to work his way and look from the half stairs all the way down the corridor. He doesn't see anyone just yet, and now that his corridor is going to be locked down by Sexy Kick. He's going to progress down here towards the hallway. Zig will spot him out with that heartbeat sensor and realize that there are 3 pushing back. He's going to call the push back here, and you're going to see the rotation most likely from BRK. So we've seen this attack come from BRK earlier in the match, and it did not work out. And the reason is that, again, you're just shoving yourself into 2 very narrow lanes that the defenders don't have to struggle to hold, really. So could be a lot of pressure on NoX to make this attack happen, and they have to trade each other back. That's the key here. They need to get the refrags. Now we are going to have 1 kill from Nesk land on the Saya. Trade's going to go out as 1 falls, and we are going to have just a slaughter fest here inside of the Beast side. Hugzord and Sexy Cake picking up some as Nesk and Yuke pick up 4 kills here for BRK. Leipzig are going to get the final kill as a Capital and finish off Yuke. Now Zig still trying to make his own work here. A one-on-one, he spots Leipzig, takes the double headshot down, and BRK will win this round. They're going to go up 4-3. It's going to be match point for BRK. Excellent job there to Zig to bring that team, or to bring that round back for his squad. That was seemingly a NoX round. I talked about how when you make the push into the site, you gotta get those refrags, and NoX absolutely did. Unfortunately, the Twitch and the Capital separated a little bit there towards the end, and because of that, the final and the most important kill did not come through. Well played to Zig there to clutch it for his team, though. Again, it really did seem like NoX's round. BRK now going to be put onto match point. They only need 1 more round to push themselves into map number 2, which is going to be Coastline, which is so weird to say. We do see the Frost coming out of the woodworks here, coming out of the igloo, we'll say. Here in the basement hole, which, I mean, back season 1, season 2, Frost did see quite a bit of play on Oregon, whether it was the top or bottom floors. That was probably because her shotgun was ridiculous. There was that. The Frost traps, I mean, oddly enough, those are the times where we saw almost every single round go down to the last few seconds, and you'd have the rush, you'd have the drops into those Frost traps because they hadn't been cleared out yet. Yeah, no, you're right. That is one of the really big deals about Frost traps is that, you know, if the attackers don't have the time to look down, then they're gonna hit the Frost traps. Apart from that, usually, if you can force an attacker to look down, then you can just challenge onto that angle when he's looking at your trap and kill him just by yourself. So Frost is actually very useful. She just isn't as useful as the majority of other defenders are right now in the current meta, which is why we don't see her played very much.
I think it is worth noting for those that don't necessarily see a Frost played or don't play Frost themselves, that 9mm SMG she has basically laser accuracy. There's almost no recoil on it, and it is almost pinpoint in the hands of a Pro League player. It's
got low rate of fire, which is the main problem with it, but it also has a pretty high damage, a reasonably high damage, and overall it's a decent gun. You can start us off here with a kill on the Hug Zords. That's a good start. That was the roaming Jaeger, I believe. Yep, that was the roaming Jaeger who was playing pretty heavy upstairs. Peeking onto a Blackbeard. He actually challenged from those Master Dorms, as you can see by his corpse. That's a very dangerous play, and it unfortunately will not work out for him.
Now, Nesk has been injured upon entry. I believe that's going to be inside of the bathrooms or kitchen.
I don't think the defender in kitchen actually knows about this. Yeah, Frost doesn't know that he injured Nesk, and that might mean that Nesk is actually going to get picked up.
Yuki's working his way in. He's going to cover. Oh, there's going to be a shot there.
No.
He actually picked off the Frost Saya, not realizing it. And therefore, that's going to be Yuki getting a double kill there. Nice 2K to begin the round. We say begin, but there's only a third left here as we have a 5-on-3. Sexy Cake trying to work his way in from the meeting hall. He might, oh, he's going to spot Zig. I don't think Zig saw it. However, Sexy will be spotted out. He's going to decide to forfeit his position, go upstairs into the master bedroom hallway. Looks left and will be hit in the head from the right side. Yuke getting a 3K this round. He's got 2 more to go for his ace.
And now really all that BRK needs to do to win this round is very slowly push into the main lobby and trade each other. There is not a lot that NoX can really do to bring it back. However, it is entirely possible. We've seen much crazier comebacks.
Leipzig's still going to hold down the fort as Cyber has the best chance of trying to win this victory. But it looks as though Zig is going to try to bait this out. That is a very good flashbang. Cyber will not be able to get his smoke grenade out. He knows that the plant's going to go down. A failed toss, and Zig will get that diffuser planted. Leipzig picking up 1 kill there, and then he picks up a second there onto Zig. You got 3 left. It's going to be you, Coolio, and 1 trying to hold down the diffuser that's been planted. There's about 35 seconds to go. Leipzig are going to be the last man alive. He's picked up 2. He's got 3 more to go. Yuke, however, has gotten his 4th kill of the round. Could he get this one and secure his ace for BRK Esports, also winning this series, or winning the map? Looks like Yuke will not get it. Leipzig peeks on up. He's got 2 more for his own ace. Will he find it? Tosses up a C4. Misses the target, and there is going to be the round. He does not have enough time, so we will have map number 1 go into the hands of BRK Esports. Wonderful shot there by Julio.
Good attack there from BRK. What happened is, unfortunately, NoX Gaming invested way too heavily into the roam game on the west side of the building top floor, and that roam game didn't turn up much of anything. And then after 3 people have been taken out top floor of west side, it was just a simple matter of a 5 versus 2. Not much to do, then push into the site for BRK.
So that is map number 1 under wraps in this first best-of-3 series between BRK Esports and NoX Gaming. Now, we are going to get the lobby remade. We're going to get our second map underway, which, oddly enough, is Coastline.
Man, oddly but also very much welcome. It's great to see Coastline played more frequently in the Pro League. Obviously, a lot of teams seeing it as a more viable map these days, and that is really, it's great to see. So,
Coastline is, again, one of those maps that hasn't necessarily been seen a lot. Well, not necessarily. It just hasn't. We saw it yesterday in Season 2. But that is it for what we've seen Coastline so far this season. And we feel, at least I feel like some of the reason of that is because there's not a standard meta on it yet. And it's keeping teams guessing as to, okay, what are our opponents going to do? We talked about it yesterday that we're going to have to see that the teams are going to have to scrim this a lot. They're going to have to dry run it a lot more. They're going to have to get more comfortable and then find out the core meta for that map.
Coastline and Continuum had very clearly different opinions on where to go on Coastline. We saw Flipside try to really force out that kitchen defense, which was a mixed bag, really, of results. It did actually end up winning them the map, I believe. But it was still a mixed bag. So it's going to be cool to see where it is that these two teams between NoX and BRK opt to go to in terms of just the sites overall,
Yep.
and then to where they choose to elaborate from that. We've seen every single one of the bomb sites picked on this map. I think the least picked is Billiards, but again, that's one of those it's one of those sites that is still technically viable. In fact, it sees a lot of play in ranked.
Yeah, I think the hookah and pool table that you're talking about, the billiards room, that is one of the top 2 bomb sites chosen in your ranked play. But it goes back to the conversation about once we start seeing this map developed under the eyes of a pro league team, or just in general the pro league competitive players, we're going to start seeing these different strats develop. We're going to start seeing the trickle-down effect, if you will, from these pro league players down into the Challenger League, down into the Go4s, and then all the way down into ranked and casual plays, where players and teams are now realizing, hey, this bomb site's actually viable because we can do this. And I think that is very healthy for this game.
It comes down to the intricacies of Siege as a
Yes.
whole, and how there are so many things that you have to learn about a particular spot. Not just a map as a whole, right? There's, of course, but just one particular bomb site, one particular room, one particular wall. There's so many little things that you have to learn.
Perfect example is going to be, okay, so we said Penthouse and Theater are basically, that's one of the preferred bomb sites, quote unquote, as far as we've known on Coastline.
Yeah.
One of the things that we haven't seen, or at least I haven't seen before until yesterday, was opening up the floor, tossing a C4 from underneath into the bathroom, where that drop-down hatch is. That's one of those, yes, you know the map, okay, you know I want to go here, but it's those little things that you're going to start seeing developed in the pro scene that are then going to get picked up by the rest of the community. And those are the things that I think you miss out on when some of our older maps are no longer in the pro league. Like, so in the pool, we don't have Yacht. Yacht's been kind of a stale map since Season 1 when it had its one season and down.
I don't think it ever actually saw play, too, if I recall.
Whatever
the case be, it wasn't one of those maps that people really wanted to go to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's partially due to the lighting of the map, but also partially due to the aesthetic and the balance of it as a whole, the ambient noise. But overall, you know, the maps that we do see in the Pro League, you're right. They do see a lot more innovation because these people who are playing in the Pro League right now are actually playing for something more. You know, they're trying to really push it, and they need to have these little things like that C4 you were talking about to give them the extra edge. And hey, why not when you see that incorporated into your own gameplay?
So, I mean, thinking about the maps, and that some maps that used to be like high into the pro scene and then got dwindled out after the pool fell apart, or after some got removed from the pool. House is one of those maps that, with the addition of some of the attack operators, made it a lot less favorable for defenders. But I remember playing on House recently, and I'm using some of my old Valkyrie camera spots from when I was trying to go up against you, and thinking, how am I going to beat Orbit? Where do I need to place my Val cams? And just thinking of all of that. But we do have our second game, our second map underway, so let's head on in as Coastline is going to be our map number 2 in this best-of-3 series between NoX Gaming and BRK E-Sports.
And this is interesting. Well, slightly interesting, I suppose. Montaigne seeing play here. He's not as prevalent as he used to be, but I think it makes a lot of sense having him if they're going to be making a specific push. If they're expecting a kitchen defense, for example, then yeah, Montaigne's very useful here. And it is going to be a kitchen defense from BRK. So, very likely that NoX Gaming are going to push into that eastmost door you could see over in the B-bomb site.
Either that, or they have a way to basically push in from the Cool Vibes stairs, basically by the Sunrise Bar, and you kind of go into a push or into a plant very similar to like the clubhouse bar.
I mean, options abound,
There
but
are.
we'll see exactly what they choose to do. It's usually when you see a Montaigne picked, it's almost exclusively because the plan is, all right, we're going to inch our way into the site and plant on the corner of the site with as much disruption as possible.
Just like Stockroom on Clubhouse. So yeah, that's basically what this is. This is a bar Stockroom hold on Clubhouse.
In
You're going to see
a
the push
sense.
come in from Stock.
Yeah.
Now the biggest thing I think BRK has going for them is that yokai, because that's going to make the Monty unshield himself when he gets hit.
Yeah, that's actually going to hurt this attack quite a lot. No matter what it is they choose to use the Montaigne for, having those shields opened up at the wrong moment, and Montaigne being, okay, my knees are exposed, he's going to probably die in that situation.
Yep.
And plus, there's going to be coordination between the Echo as he opens up the Montaigne shield, and whomever is in a position to shoot the Montaigne. So, As soon as that comes down.
We are going to see this challenge here. Saya will fall. Nice job there by Zig.
Ooh,
we talked about that yesterday, though, how that's a very difficult challenge to happen.
I do really like how we're seeing here the BRK. They opened up the entire A bomb site wall. We've seen this from, we saw this yesterday from Flipside as well. I really like this setup here because it means that BRK can hold the A bomb site from outside A. In fact, from across the map, even on the top floor. And very clearly they're reading into the NoX attack here with that Montaigne. Now, hey, I can't push in here because the wall's open.
Now we will see Yuki get taken out of commission here by Sexy Cake. Plant's already going to go down, though, and it looks like that actually is just going to be inside of the B site.
Yeah, this is on the opposite of the map.
Oh, no, he actually hopped right into the window of Kitchen, I think. He was in the window of Kitchen. There was no one there. However, the Yokai prevented the Plant from going down. C4 toss from Zig gets a kill as Nesk also sweeps up one for herself with that 416 coming on Jaeger.
It's interesting that NoX decided to go for that push, especially considering their Montaigne was nowhere near to provide the cover that they so clearly brought him for. Maybe it was a fake out, but whatever the case be, it didn't work out for NoX, and now BRK, with 1 minute to go, are in a slight man advantage. Only one rifle on the attacking team in Cyber.
And the diffuser is still not really necessarily in a good predicament. And as we have Thatcher poke his way around from the lobby, he will be taken out. Now Zig's gonna pick up one. He's gonna sweep around, get the crossfire on Monty, and we will have Hugzord fall by Zig.
So, the fake out from NoX, unfortunately unsuccessful for them. And I like the idea there, you know, trying to draw attention to your Montaigne, then planting in the window of Kitchen. Unfortunately, there are, you know, things that BRK have set in place to counter that, like your Echo drone, for example, like having the A wall open, meaning that anybody who's in the open area between the two buildings, the open garden, we could say, is going to be able to have line of sight on the window, regardless of the fact that you're trying to distract with that Montaigne. There's too many ways for BRK to counter that by simply looking at the right time in the right corner. And it was a good roll of the dice, though, from NoX Gaming. They are going to be going now onto their defense, and instead of the Kitchen, they're going to opt for that master bedroom to start us off, which is, I think, overall, I'd say this is probably the go-to, the #1 site for most of the teams we've seen play on this map.
But you were talking about it before off stream. You said you had talked to some Pro League players and some Pro League teams that have gone through the strides of making Coastline one of their maps that they've got strategies for, and that they feel as though the bars, the blue and the pink bars downstairs, are kind of a site that has not seen a lot of light, but is quite viable.
What I was saying about that is that, you know, you're absolutely right, is that it is a viable map, but it comes down to coordination. You know, usually you won't see it played in ranked because there's a lot of, you know, roles that each of the defenders have to fulfill. And, you know, despite that, it's still a risk. You know, it's a bomb site that is, yeah, absolutely viable if you can coordinate it properly, but it's still a risk. It's a challenge to make that defense work. By the way, let's talk about this particular round, or this particular map defense right here that we have. We are seeing a Pulse playing underneath the bomb site, and that means that BRK is going to have to clear out that bottoms or underneath the bomb site before they can actually make the push into this get to the diffuser plant.
It looks as though they are aware of this downstairs support from NoX Gaming, from Hugzord as well as Saya. They're going to start working their way in and droning, as Sexy Cake has already been droned out once. He's going to get droned out again. Nesk trying to peek on around, goes for the drop shot through the door, and he will not tag a single bullet.
So Nesk is taking control of the top of the south stairs, and this looks a lot like, again, what Flipside was showing us yesterday. They are going to try and poise themselves to open up this southmost wall of the A bomb site.
And I think NoX Gaming is much more prepared for this push than we saw continue, because we're seeing a lot more barbed wire placed down. Zig, however, will take the 5.56 and slam some bullets into the face of Cyber. Now that's a 5-on-4. That's the smoke getting out of commission. Now that is a big kill, seeing as how I believe 2 or 3 smoke grenades were still left in his possession.
Ooh, Pulse is coming for this flank, and unfortunately for BRK, no one's watching it right now. Nesk is going to look to it, but no, he's going to start droning.
Drone. Now, if Pulse can move up here, he can snag a double, possible triple kill. Looks as though no, Hugzord's been taken out, as well as Zig tags a double kill there onto Lifezord. Now, last but not least is going to be Saya. He's going for a kill here outside of the Lamborghini lobby. And it looks as though Plant will go down 5-on-1, and unfortunately, this is not going to go in favor of NoX.
Really like the attack here from BRK, having all their bases covered. You saw there the Thatcher playing outside the front door. Ooh, nice shot from Saya. He's got to get an ace to bring this back with only one shot worth of HP. It's not likely to happen.
No, he does not have enough time to get 4 kills as well as get the diffuser destroyed. So round number 2 will go in the hands of BRK Esports. They lead 2-0 on Coastline.
So yeah, again, to talk about that BRK attack, having all their bases covered, opening up the front door to deny the flank, and then simply pushing into the top of the south stairs and opening up that wall with the thermite on the bomb site, that gives them so much control because there's nowhere in A that you can hide from that wall that once it's been opened. Theoretically, directly behind the bomb, but that is not enough room to make an actual defensive stand. And it's going to be cool to see what the first variations that teams start to come up with to try and hold that bomb site from that take, because that take is obviously very efficient. It could be we see something along the lines of the entire floor being opened up and then very heavy presence on the main lobby. It could be we see some C4s coming from the other bomb site. I mean, Smoke playing a little bit further back in B, but then that, that's a risk of, then what if the attackers switch up to a B attack? We are seeing BRK going into the bars defense, which is a little bit abnormal, but we talked about it before. It is completely viable. It just comes down to your coordination and actually having a strat to make the hold happen. We'll see how NoX chooses to handle this. They are in a deficit of 2 rounds right now, so they need to start this comeback.
Now, I'm curious to see how effective destroying that courtyard wall into the B bar, or the blue bar, is going to be for BRK's hold here.
I really like it. Destroying those walls, we've seen it done on a lot of the different sites. The kitchen and then also these bars. You open up the wall into the A bomb site, the B bomb site, whichever one. In this fight, actually in both cases, the A bomb site, I believe. No, in kitchen is B. Whatever the case be, you open up that wall, that means that you can have a roamer hold the site almost by himself if it comes down to it. And he doesn't have to retake at all.
Now we are seeing quite the barbed wire usage come out from BRK. We saw this previously. I mean, the barbed wire is kind of one of the most important utilities we spot defenders using nowadays. And it wasn't always that way, I want to say. We used to see a lot more C4 back before impact grenades got implemented. But other than that, let's get back here. So Nesk gonna be challenging Hugzord here maybe shortly, as Hugzord's outside on that north balcony. Hops on down, looking in towards the vestibule, getting inside of the pink bar.
You can see here that BRK is just holding fast against this NoX attack right now. They're not trying to overextend themselves whatsoever. I do like this mirror window that Zig's playing, but it is a little bit aggressive. And he could get flashbanged and taken out here if NoX plays it right. Ooh, nice aggression there from Nesk, running outside that VIP window onto the balcony on the north side. We'll be taking out the Twitch.
That's quite an important kill because, as we just saw, that you called it the aggressive mirror window there. That's not going to get opened up quite easily anymore. So with that, we are still going to have Nesk actually get off from the top 4. He's going to work his way down. Yuke's going to be the only roamer above. And Nesk working his way now, rotating around. He might be catching Sexy Cake off guard. No, he doesn't. Sexy Cake says, I'm going to look down this hall before I move any further, and he will remove Nesk.
Good kill there from Sexy Cake, and that's evening out the man count. But unfortunately, NoX doesn't really seem like they have a grasp on where they want to be attacking from right now. Oh, no!
The reload, and unfortunately, the double peek from one will not go in his favor. Sexy Cake able to get that kill. Now, we do have one defender that's been spotted outside, and I think that might have been Yuke. However, looks as though Sexy Cake will take him out. Or Cyber, I'm sorry. Now last two alive going to be Zig and Julio. Julio going to be the last one. He's got the yokai device trying to move on over. He's going to stop the plant, and could this be it? Could he's going to win this by the yokai? He's moving it around. He knows he's doing the right thing, but it looks like some shots again coming out of Sexy Cake's gun will finish him off right behind the pink bar.
A couple mistakes there from BRK, and NoX will walk away with this round. A little bit of an execution there at the end. But yeah, what was happening there for NoX Gaming? It seemed like they were really pivoting around the entire bomb site. They kind of did full circle. They actually, no, they literally did full circle of the bomb site before collapsing altogether one at a time. And if we had BRK get a couple, a little bit more, one or two more frags, it probably would have gone against NoX Gaming. They needed to get rid of that Blackbeard specifically on the push. He was kind of the spearhead of that take for NoX Gaming.
Now we are going to see NoX go back upstairs into the theater and penthouse, which I think they held successfully before, didn't they? No, they didn't hold successfully because they wouldn't be there.
BRK were successful in their attack. They took the top of the south stairs last time, and they opened up that front door and applied as much pressure as they could to the roam game, which was really well played to them. I mean, you can't C4 underneath the A bomb site if you can't play anyone in the lobby. And as you can see, the westmost part of the A bomb site is even like by the front door, because that reception desk has got that cover. So the defenders can play behind that, but they, if they're playing there, they cannot C4A very efficiently. I like this angle being opened up here by NoX. This is just in an attempt to slow down that main lobby take, but BRK typically doesn't take into the main lobby, or they didn't last time. They mostly focused, oh, here we go. This is what we're talking about from NoX. I like this adaptation mid-match. They're gonna be opening up that floor to deny the defused plant for as long as possible.
It makes it much more difficult to get a plant down on that floor because you need to actually line it up with the beams right there. So that's exactly the play that we're going to see there. And again, I think what we've seen here typically has been, ooh, a good tap there by Hugzord.
That should have been a kill for NoX. Unfortunately, Nesk is going to barely walk away with that with still enough HP to make this round happen for his team.
So Nesk has basically been given a second chance, and he's going to take advantage and make these opportunities count.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate for NoX Gaming. Good on Hugzords, though, to get that damage onto Nesk. So it will put Nesk in a one-shot situation.
Now, just over half the round left to go, and we are going to spot this Glass, which is Hugh, working his way onto that north balcony outside of VIP. Looks as though he's going to be working his way, and again, going to get droned out. Cyber going to be moving on forward. Now, this is a typical spot you'll see a Smoke or any typical player sitting if they're trying to hold onto that B site. The wall getting opened up is again going to force a little bit of a collapse and a crossfire onto him. He's being droned out massively by 2 or 3 drones now, having a little bit of a difficult time taking him out.
He's panicking as well, throwing out these gas canisters unnecessarily, just trying to hold down that wall as long as possible, and only now will BRK start to move their way into VIP with only one gas canister left. Life Sword is going to take out Yuke, though. It's a good kill onto the Glass. That's a lot of push power coming off of the BRK lineup.
Definitely, and the smoke grenades on that as well, and not going to provide very use anymore. However, we do have Hugzord underneath. Sexy Cake, though, going for a hookah lounge peek out towards the north balcony. Looks like he's going to tag Julio down with some health. And right now, Cyber going to dodge the flashbang, comes in with a shotgun in hand, ready to fight that shot onto Zig. He's going to turn the corner, spots him, takes him down, and then finishes him off. Blackbeard's going to be inside of the red corridor as there's just a massive firefight happening. And there's going to be the round one by Cyber.
So BRK mixing up their attack, and it was all over the place. NoX being on top of their roam game. More importantly, their anchors being very alert, and they won all of their fights. And that's pretty much what allowed NoX Gaming to walk away with that round. Now at 2-2 as NoX has won 2 consecutive rounds, bringing it back into an even score. But yeah, I think that it was a little bit of a mistake there by BRK to say, all right, you know what we should do? Let's mix up our attack strategy, because very clearly that south side attack strat works wonders. I mean, it was a decisive win when they tried to come from the south. And sure, NoX did put in a little bit of adaptation trying to, counter it, but whatever it is we just saw on the VIP attack from BRK, that's not nearly as good. At least it hasn't shown through in that particular round. Maybe it will on the next attempt for BRK. Now NoX Gaming on attack. BRK going to be going into their kitchen defense again.
Now, looking at the scoreboard as we just had it up on the screen, NoX Gaming had 2 out of the 5 members basically carrying it in some aspect. They were up at the top of the leaderboard, 6 kills and 4 kills apiece. The rest had 1. And BRK E-Sports was kind of being carried by a single player with 6. The rest only holding down 2 kills, or even the lonely donut we saw. But
with only 4 rounds having progressed in this match thus far, I mean, it's entirely possible that scoreline's going to change.
Definitely.
We're only about halfway through, really.
We're going to see this kitchen and stockroom hold, or kitchen pantry hold yet again.
Last time we saw NoX attack onto this bomb site, what they tried to do was fake out a little bit with the Montaigne, and it didn't work out for them. So they don't have a Montaigne anymore. Will they be mixing things up and going for just a more, basically, let's just take aggressively into the site and try to challenge and win these fights, which is likely to see what we're going to see happen here as, again, no Montaigne.
We're not seeing too much pressure put on to this A site door, which I think is kind of the expected spot to push in from, which is why we're not necessarily going to see NoX do too much. Yes, there's going to have a Blackbeard out here on the A door, or B door, apologies, but there's not too much. We're seeing more operators on the attacking side going in from the bar section. You see Saya and Leipzig out there to the north end or to the east end.
Still a lot of options here for NoX Gaming. A lot of the rounds that they've won on attack have come down to having somebody on every corner of the map, a full spread, and it's entirely, you know, surrounding the defenders, and then collapsing all together, kind of like a tornado, really. And it's worked for them, but it's an interesting strategy we don't usually see employed, and we'll see if BRK is able to adapt in this match, if they're going to be able to read into that and start winning their defenses.
Now, the one thing that NoX Gaming has yet to do is actually take control of the top floor, and as we just saw, Yuke and Nesk are still up there. Yuke trying to open up more of the floor, take away some angles from the doorway into kitchen, as well as the window of that A site.
I like these angles here from Yuke. It could be countered by somebody trying to pressure from his north balcony, but nobody from NoX is attempting to do so. 52 seconds left to go, and no engagements have happened. We see some bullets flying here, but not finding
He's going to work his way in. He's going to tag one down, get his shield broken, and the trade will happen. C4 get tossed on out again, trying to stop some of the push coming in from the kitchen. However, we will have Hugzord using that destroyed wall to his advantage, picking off Zig. Now Cyber realizes we need to get onto that north balcony. You can see rappelling on up there. He's going to try to challenge Yuke. And Nesk already moving on forward. Hugzord unfortunately not going to spot Nesk inside of the courtyard. Nesk picking up a double kill. Last 2 alive here for the attacking squad. Going to be Cyber and Saya. Diffuser has been picked up there by the Thatcher. And Saya trying to work his way now over towards the window of that kitchen site.
There is an echo. Will he have his drone in the right moment?
Cyber gets his way, and I think he might be trying to dodge. He's going to call it on out. Goes for the shots, but he misses. And the shotgun kill here from Julio will finish off the round. And the diffuser will not get planted, meaning BRK wins round number 5. They go up by 1 round, 3-2.
Good defense there from BRK, and I like the attempt of the attack from NoX. What it really came down to, though, was Nesk playing in that courtyard, having that line of sight through the A bomb site wall and being able to deny any push through the window and main doorway. And that's pretty much the gist. I mean, when you're forcing all of your attackers through 2 particular lanes, if there's any one person who is going to have unwavering ability to stop that, you're not going to challenge him directly, then you're going to lose.
Yep.
Unfortunate there that Nesk was allowed free range from courtyard. And you really need to clear out that. When you see the A bomb site wall open like that, you got to clear out that courtyard. Unfortunately, obviously, maybe NoX didn't know that. I mean, this is Coastline. It's a bit of a new map. The meta is still developing somewhat, and knowing what you have to clear out before you make your push is something that will be learned over time. NoX Gaming now going to be going into the same defense on that kitchen. They're going to be setting themselves up very similarly to how we had BRK established. Opening up that A wall, similar mirror windows.
you've got the mirror. I think that might still be the mirror there from the A to B wall that we're seeing there in the middle of the site, looking down towards the stock pantry. And we just saw the second mirror inside of that middle B site, looking in towards the lobby, towards that courtyard.
Yeah, and that little B corner by the B bomb itself has actually found a lot of use for teams who have opted to go for this kitchen defense. It's not a very common. Sorry, no. You want to say it's not a very common defense, but it really just comes down to the map being not played very often.
Mm-hmm. There's technically no common and uncommon thing on Coastline just yet.
Technically. We're going to see Julio put a Claymore outside that B doorway. Just in case we have the run out from NoX. BRK still sizing up their options before they make the push. It looks like they might want to go for a roam clear before they actually go into the site.
Yeah, and I think because they themselves have placed roamers up top, they now realize how important that is, and they're going to go into that north balcony, try to clear out VIP as well as the penthouse. Now, Hugzord, if that floor was destructible, we would see the toss. But unfortunately, it's not, and therefore, Hug's just going to fake himself out there.
BRK are starting their take of this top floor, and they have taken out Saya. It's one of the roamers gone on that bandit.
However, Nest does get traded out there by the Jaeger. That's Sexy Cake, though. He's going to pick up one and then just try to rotate out. But the penthouse, as well as VIP and Red Hallway, have been taken control of by BRK.
Yeah, they're going to start opening up holes here. We will have to Yuk take out the pulse after unsuccessful C4 from Hugzord.
Now the floor above Lipe does get opened up. Looks like he's trying to get this mirror window. There's going to be the one grenade toss. C4 underneath. Will it tag it? No, he hears the toss.
Both explosives missed their target there.
It's going to have to be a very unfortunate ending of the C4 game for this round. Now there are 50 seconds left, 4 on 3, and the floor above NoX is getting opened up. Lipe finally realizes that the mirror window is going to get a little bit less use there, but he's going to open up his own mirror window there, and that's going to allow Cyber to peek on down and help out his team should he need to. There's going to be the same kind of angle that Pulse almost certainly missed his opportunity to kill earlier. Lifestart getting a few bullets tagged to himself. 4 on 3 still with 20 seconds remaining. We're going to see a push here. Yuke still trying to cover from above. And Zig is going to have that diffuser but be taken out of commission by Sexy. 3 on 3, still 10 seconds to go. Lipe just going to hold down this quarter as Juke pushes in. Lipe knows there's going to be a push in, so he's just going to hold right here momentarily, but he gets wiped from behind. Julio picking up a double kill. Sexy trying to take out the Blackbeard as he forces his way in. Plant's going to try to go down inside of the bathroom now. Sexy going to be the last man alive. He gave away a little bit of his position, but unfortunately, he now needs to deal with a diffuser being planted and 3 members from BRK. Who was going to be right on the other side of this soft wall. And Sexy, while not knowing it, will just gracefully proceed into the bathrooms. We're going to see Sexy again looking in through the mirror window that's already been opened up. He does not see Julio, but he hears him moving. And therefore, Sexy going to try to take a longer angle, but he doesn't have much time. The time is dwindling down. He's going to tear the door open, move on in, and be met with a couple bullets from Juan. And we are going to see Sexy Cake fall. BRK leads this 4-2 now.
Yeah, now they're on match point, looking to lock out this map and the series. Now the attack from BRK there, very similar to what we've seen from both of these teams on this particular bomb site, except for a much more heavy emphasis on that top floor. I really like that BRK is clearing out the roamers upstairs before starting to progress into the bomb site itself and trying to go for that defuse plan. Whereas we've seen NoX Gaming just try to kind of challenge in through the lanes, you know, it's very standard attack. And I like the extra emphasis and extra time that BRK is taking to be like, all right, let's go upstairs.
Now we are going to see the bomb site go back downstairs to the blue and pink bars, which again is a developing strategy, developing site, because it's not necessarily one that...
I mean, BRK got absolutely smashed the last time they tried to defend this particular bomb site. It really came down to NoX Gaming, again, circling around the bomb site itself and you know, collapsing altogether as a team. They had somebody outside the main bomb site, outside the building as well. They had somebody out over on the south side of the map, I believe it was, poising themselves to push in through the A bomb site. Yep, it was the south side of the map. And then they also had 2 or 3 people coming in from the east on the first floor. I mean, a full collapse from the northwest, east, and south at the same moment really did catch BRK off guard. And more importantly, with that man advantage, NoX, last time they were here, just had to trade each other out because the roamers from BRK were unsuccessful.
And we are going to spot. This is the corridor that I believe Blackbeard came in last time and took out Nesk inside of the servers. So I think what we're seeing here is that little bit of vertical play, trying to make sure that they don't have as easy of an entry into that corner of the map.
You know, interesting thing about this particular... Oh, no, the Twitch drone's going to open up the mirror window, and that's going to take care of the position that Zig was hoping to play inside of B. That's actually the main B hold as well. It's going to be much more difficult for BRK to hold that site now moving forward, especially considering they reinforced their site walls instead of opening them up, as they did on the A bomb site. What I was trying to talk about on that note also was that what we needed to see from BRK on the last time they were defending was a heavier roam presence, so the A bomb site could be held from off-site, as they were trying to do with the walls being opened.
Now we do have only one roamer above. That's going to be Yuke again trying to hold down the fort. But what I thought was going to be a Hugzord roam clear has turned into, let's push into the pantry, let's push into the delivery unit of the kitchen.
You can see here Nesk trying to hold down this south door, the south entranceway. If he loses control of this, it will give NoX Gaming an extra line of sight onto the A bomb site, which will basically establish a crossfire between the south and the east.
Now, Sexy Cake, you saw open up the window instead of the A site. There's going to be a Claymore kill by Hugzord, and Nesk will fall by Lipe all the way outside. A very good kill. And again, you just talked about the importance of holding down this lobby, this atrium, and unfortunately, BRK was unable to do it. Julio will tag 1 kill, though, onto Saya, and he's trying to get the man count back in favor, taking out the Ash, a 4-on-3.
No, those holes not being at the right spot will mean that Yuke will look past the ability to get 2 kills. Unfortunate there, didn't open up enough holes to get control of that south side.
Cyber taking out Julio, and it looks as though he will get traded down by Zig. Last man alive is going to be that smoke. That's Yuke, who was roaming above. He's gotten now decked in on the bottom of Cool Vibe stairs, and Hugzord sees it. He goes for the kill, and that is going to be NoX Gaming again taking control of this bottom bar bomb site.
Yeah, they've had really decisive victories when it comes to this particular attack. And you have to wonder why NoX chose to bring themselves back to that site again after how, again, decisively they lost the first time. I mean, it's great to see the attempt at holding those bars, but you need to have at least some sort of established hold against who you're going up against. And NoX, they're, I guess, just aware of how to pick apart the bar hold.
Mm-hmm.
Now, NoX is going to go into that home theater master bedroom defense instead of the kitchen, well, yeah, the kitchen or the bars hold, which, again, this is the more commonly defended site. They were successful last time they went here. However, it was mostly due to the fact that BRK rotated off their south side attack, which was which was working well for BRK. They tried to do that just in an attempt to, I mean, look at that scoreboard. Wow, Sexy Cake. But yeah, BRK tried to rotate it off because they were just trying to keep things fresh, trying to mix things up. But unfortunately, the VIP take did not work for BRK. We'll see if BRK is going to consolidate and go back to their south take, or if they're going to try and mix it up again and go for the northwest VIP side take.
Hugzord is still going to be underneath. We see him inside of the bathroom. This is, again, those C4 tosses, that vertical play from underneath. Last time, it wasn't overly successful, if I recall correctly here. However, we might see a different outcome.
Very heavy roam game coming out from NoX. People all over the board. Meanwhile, BRK looking to establish control over the front door of the lobby so they can deny that roam coming up from the south stairwell as they push into the top of south stairs and open up that south wall of the A-bomb site.
Now we do see some drones coming on out from BRK, clearing out that Lamborghini lobby, which we just saw from Cyber, I believe's point of view, looking on down. Still plenty of time left to go here. That's kind of a slowly progressing round this time around.
Yeah, BRK is just trying to clear it out from Aqua over to top south stairs, and that makes a lot of sense. They want to get as much roam kind of just covered to make sure they're not going to have to worry about it. Ooh, Saya playing very aggressively in the main hallway will be taken out by Zig, reading into that position. It's a very commonly played one that Saya trying to get the jump on someone will not be successful. That also means there will be no bandit tricking the A bomb site wall, which will mean Zig is free to open it up with his thermites.
Now Hugh is going to spot out Julio here. Now he might try to go for the drone hole peek. I think he is. He's going to take a little look here momentarily, potentially. However, I don't think he's going to see him. Instead, he's going to go back into the kitchen, try to get around to where he can be very useful with those C4s, moving on over to the bars, possibly coming up for a flank. However, we are going to see Sexy Cake tag the rear of Yuke, and Nate, Cook Nate going to come on out. Sexy Cake will fall. No, he won't. He's going to dodge that, but whimper away with just minor health left. 3 on 4 after Nest decides to take out Lipe. Now Cyber will be removed as Nest tags another kill. Smoke grenade is going to come out, but that was the last smoke grenade, and therefore the push from the south end of B south end of A, I think that is going to be quite successful here for BRK. They win this round, they win the series. It's going to be a 4-3 at the moment, or 5-3. Diffuser has been planted. Hugzord and Sexy going to be the last 2 alive, and this unfortunately I think is going to be the call of the horn here. Nox, unfortunately, will not come out of this alive. Hugzer trying to work his way up. Nest going to be there to collect, and Yuke is also downed onto Sexy Cake. That's going to be GG. NoX Gaming, unfortunately, not able to take a single map away here from BRK E-Sports.
No, and it was a good match for BRK, but also for NoX. Good attempt there. They really did put up a fight against BRK, who is considered to be one of the top teams coming out of the Latin American scene. So it makes sense that they would come out on top here. At the same time, props to NoX. And what happened on that last round? It was just the same exact south side take that we saw happen before on that master home theater defense, and it works extremely well for BRK. It worked extremely well for Flipside.
It definitely